Hi everyone, it's Dr. Lepore, and it's our last lesson, and it is called Surfing Chaos. Um, so chaos is definitely all around us. Every time when we get to the end of a semester, things get chaotic, and then we start to calm down and make things make sense again. This year just seems a little bit more chaotic than usual, and I know from talking to students that there's a lot of concern about what the future is going to look like. I wish I had a crystal ball and could give you answers. But since I can't give you answers and I can't tell you your fortune and your future, I do want to bring you back to some of these ideas which are going to help you manage the chaos. So let's go back and revisit our journey model. Remember that your career is a journey. It doesn't end. Okay? We're constantly working through the cycle of who am I? Looking at where can I go and what do I need and how do I get there? And by the time you get to that, you start again with who am I? Because we are constantly changing and evolving, as are the answers to each of these questions. Right? Remember, career services can help you in some of these areas. Don't be a stranger even after you graduate. Right? Remember to focus on all of these needs. You've got to take care of, remember the belly needs I mentioned? Your physiological needs. You need food and water and warmth and rest to function. And you need security and safety. Without those needs, it's really hard to work on anything else. But once you have those set, then you can start looking for relationships, okay? And that feeling of accomplishment and even prestige. And work your way up to working at your full potential, which can be really uncomfortable again, guys. I mean, that can be a really tough thing to do. One thing to know about this pyramid is that you can be functioning on one level, have things change, and either fall down or move up the pyramid quite rapidly, just depending on the conditions of your life. But it doesn't make sense to work on prestige and a feeling of accomplishment when you're still not feeling secure or safe, and that is part of the chaos around us. So remember that work does a couple of different things. We talk a lot throughout your life about, finding your passion and following your dreams. And we've talked about the fact that those are somewhat dysfunctional beliefs. You don't have to love the work you do. You have to feel good about it, though. So some of the things I want you to keep in mind is that work provides for your basic needs. You're going to get pay and benefits. You need a schedule that works for your life. You want to constantly look for the career path, the way to move forward and upward. And you definitely need that security and safety. Okay? Work can meet your higher needs. It can give you a sense of belonging and achievement and recognition. It helps you grow personally and professionally. And it can have meaning. So I want you to start thinking about this as you evaluate your choices. Okay? There's many jobs, hopefully, that'll be able to provide for your basic needs. And as you progress in your career path, you'll be able to start meeting the higher needs as well. One of the things I know is in college, I was able to do some really cool things, and it took a while in the workforce to get back to that level. Okay? So let's talk about what is a good job again. A good job is one that the work is engaging. It gives you that sense of, I'm doing something good. It benefits other people, right? It's something that you're good at and that you feel valued for. Now, that doesn't mean that you should only do work you're good at. You constantly want to stretch, but you want to be able to do good at the work you're doing, even if it is a stretch, okay? Other things to think about are flexibility in how you manage your life. Some jobs have more than others. A lack of major negatives. So the absence of negatives is actually a good thing. Commuting can be tough. Unpredictable hours can be tough. Safety can be an issue, especially right now during the pandemic. So a job that has a lack of these might really be a good job for you. And the chance to collaborate, to have genuine connections with colleagues, and colleagues that you can rely on are going to make your work hours feel so much better. Okay? So let's talk about micro-purpose. So if you look at the quote towards the bottom, it says, so many of us spend our lives here wanting to be there. Okay? one of the things about your career is to stop and realize that it's good and okay to be where we are and to not constantly project forward to where you wish you were, because you can miss out all of the good things that are around you. And this causes so much of our stress and dissatisfaction when we're focusing on where we want to be eventually as opposed to being where we are right now. If you think about freshman year, how did you handle that? Okay? Did you spend your time enjoying being at Rutgers, or did you spend your time wishing to be somewhere else or done and off in the real world? Okay? A lot of times our expectations, our mindset is what drives our stress and our dissatisfaction. So I want you to focus on your purpose at a micro level. Stay in the present moment. Be fully in with what you're doing now. Okay? Focus on that moment to moment, being there, being present, and servicing and taking care of what is in front of you. Because when you focus on that, it's going to feel more satisfying, no matter what you do. Okay? So, as we start to wind down, it's time for an internship, or you've graduated. Well, now what? Okay? It's really easy to get stressed out, and all of us are probably on the edge of stress. The research that's coming out right now says that stress levels are at an all-time high, and it's odd because we're bored and we're stressed all at one time. Know that you're not alone in that there are hundreds of thousands of people that are joining you in that mood. But if you're looking at the future right now and saying, wow, I need to do some applications, what I want you to do is be realistic. We have all heard the story that you graduate from college with your dream job, or you get this giant, amazing internship, and some people will do that. But it's okay not to. It is okay if your career path includes some twists and turns that are a little bit different. Okay? So what I want you to do is focus immediately on your immediate needs. See, like always, there's my typo for today. Okay? So focus on your immediate needs. And sometimes that means a trade-off. A job with stability and income that you can live on and benefits right now is a good job, or often is a good job, even if it's not the dream job that you wanted. Okay? And so your trick is to balance out focusing on what you need right now at the same time you work towards your future. And what I found is most jobs have something that I can learn from and I can take with me into the future. So even if you're not working the job, or you don't start the job or have the job or get the internship that's really going to move you forward quickly, I want you to look at the opportunities. One example of this is LinkedIn Learning. Many companies have subscriptions to LinkedIn Learning. Rutgers, by the way, has a subscription to LinkedIn Learning. So if you're looking for something to do once the course ends, go up and do some of these courses. You'll be amazed at what you can learn. And it's you can log in right through our system. Okay? Look for their opportunities for growth and development, even if they're outside of your area. Okay? So this is more about, you've got to be realistic and take care of your needs, but you can always use what you're doing and keep your eye on that future prize. But remember to live in the moment, and these are just so tough to do. It's easy to write it on a PowerPoint slide, but in reality, it's a little bit different. So here's some advice to help you not get stuck. Make sure that you are honestly and ruthlessly inventorying your interests, strengths, and values. Okay? Sit down and really be honest about yourself. If you don't know where to start, talk to people who are close to you and who are going to be honest with you. Know that they don't know all of you. We kind of compartmentalize ourselves, but it's a good place to start. Explore your environment. Just like you explored Rutgers when you first came to campus, explore your field. Okay? Meet people, talk to people. Now that we're working virtually, if you start a virtual job, set up time to meet people for coffee. Ask HR what kind of professional development is out there. Ask your boss what kind of meetings you can sit on or you sit in on and listen to. Maybe they'll like to tell you about projects. Practice telling people the story of your accomplishments. Okay? And do it in a language your audience understands. The way that we talk in college is often not the way that people talk outside of the college or academic environment. So you might need to practice telling your story. In fact, everybody needs to practice telling your story, me included. Create a plan of action and, keep revising, keep working on it. Remember to prototype, test, and adjust as needed, and it's always going to need this. Okay? So if you're finding yourself stuck, come back to these steps. If you need someone to talk to about this, if you need a place to start or more concrete steps, go to the Career Exploration and Success page, because we have lots of resources out there and career counselors who can help you with this. So just because you're graduating or looking for an internship and starting your career in a pandemic, it's a little more challenging, but on the other hand, we are seeing new jobs emerge that never existed before. Okay? So try not to get bogged down in how difficult things can be, and get yourself unstuck and get moving. Okay? Remember to focus on your career capital. Okay? Maybe set this up, as something that you're going to check on monthly and say, what have I done this month to increase my academic capital or my social capital or my experience? What have I done? And if you're finding that your answer is, I haven't done anything, well, then it's a good time to get out there and start exploring. Go out on LinkedIn, make a plan that every other day you're going to reply to somebody. You're going to join some groups on LinkedIn, okay? Or you're going to join a local community group, or get involved somewhere, or you're going to join a group and do some volunteer work, or join an organization on campus. Okay? Make sure that you set up your time that you're going to evaluate this periodically and say, where do I need to tweak this? Maybe, you're looking at your grades and you're going, well, this was not my semester. These aren't my best grades. You know what? That happens. Okay? It happens. The bigger idea is then talk to advising. Talk to a trusted faculty member about new strategies that can help you figure out what was tough for you and how you can improve. Education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world. This is a really powerful statement. Education can change you as a person, your life circumstances, and it also changes the world. Right? You are an important part of our world, and your learning and what you do with it is going to make a big difference, especially as we move through this pandemic. So it's really been a pleasure working with you. Please don't be a stranger. Find me on LinkedIn, okay? Bridget Lepore on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn will be on our my final goodbye email and announcement. But please don't be, sorry about that, the hazards of video, at home. Dogs barking everywhere. But please don't be a stranger. Find me on LinkedIn. I'd love to know what you're doing and your successes, and I'm always out here for a pep talk or a quick conference, or whatever resources I can connect you to. Hopefully, one of these days we'll get to meet on campus. Until then, please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay in touch.